What's going on? This is Matt Rinke, the founder of Illumination Wealth. I am very excited to have another episode and a great guest, my friend Anna Crowe. Anna is the founder and CEO of Crowe PR, which is a very successful public relations and marketing strategy firm based in San Diego, offices in New York, and they work with clients all over the world. Anna is also a board member and member of Entrepreneurs Organization in San Diego. She's an adjunct professor as well when it comes to marketing, and she recently dropped her first book. She is a jack of all trades, and we are super pumped to have her here. So Anna, welcome.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that introduction, Matt, and excited to be here.
Yeah. Can you tell me, a little bit about knowing you have a PR firm that you run, that you've been helping a lot of other companies and brands with. Tell us a little bit about your firm, your background, so we have a little bit more context around the conversation today.
Sure. So as you said, I've got a public relations and marketing firm. So we specialize in helping brands get awareness, create credible reputations, and improve sales in general. And we do that through traditional public relations efforts like media relations, as well as social media content creation and management, influence and marketing, thought leadership positioning, as well as blogging. So a lot of different facets of what we do, but the main piece of it is really creating that credibility and growing brand awareness.
Understood. And are there any specific industries or types of clients that you work with? Whether it's technology companies, who are your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got 4 verticals that we've honed in on over the years, and those are consumer products brands. So anything that's consumer goods, right? It could be an e-commerce brand, it could be a retailer brand, anything from apparel to whiskey to footwear to backpacks, as well as emerging technology brands. A lot of those are in the B2B space, manufacturing, automotive, healthcare. We also have hospitality, which includes hotels and restaurants and just overall travel brands. And the final one is professional services. So it's businesses like yours, as well as attorneys and others. So pretty wide range, but that enables us to really have different types of campaigns because those industries are very different. They require a different type of campaign to speak to their customers. And that keeps things for us very exciting, very interesting, and gives us a lot of opportunities to really grow awareness and growth.
Understood. Yeah, I can imagine so. And so right now, a lot has changed in the business world due to the COVID-19. It's impacting, just about every industry, and you work with a whole bunch of different industries in general. What are you kind of seeing within your client base and how they're managing, through this? Are they continuing to market? Are people pulling back? What's kind of happening?
Yeah, it's very interesting because of the variety of clients that we work with. Everyone's been impacted in a very different way, and we've had to really pivot strategies depending on the impact. Some, such as hotels and restaurants, have obviously hit very hard, with the closures and all the social distancing and the travel bans. That market has really gone very quiet from a business standpoint. But even with that, there's a lot of opportunity to continue engaging with customers. So we're pivoted with those accounts a little bit by creating some crisis comms plans, internal and external messaging, making sure they're communicating to their employees, making sure they're communicating to future travelers, et cetera, and continue to have those conversations. Conversations look very different now, but they are still happening. On the flip side, healthcare brands, consumer products, e-commerce brands are doing very differently, right? Everyone's online, everyone is on social media, so there's a lot of opportunity and sales are still continuing. They're different because client needs are different, but for the brands that we work with, because their product offerings are pretty wide, they're able to still capitalize on, those products and sell to their customers. But we've had to tweak messages quite a bit for a lot of our brands. And that's part of public relations, right? It's not just about building that reputation. It's also about maintaining and protecting it. And so what we do has to do a lot with messaging and strategy, and a lot of different thoughts go around what types of campaigns we can execute now, and then how are we planning for the future.
Yeah, I can understand how companies, they might be having cash flow issues and they think we got to cut it all off and go dark, but then they can alienate their clients and customers for when this thing, slows down or when business can pick back up. And so it's probably really important not to just cut everything off. You got to have the right strategy, communicating with the right people, throughout this.
Exactly. The
epidemic.
message may be, the message may be different, but there's always an opportunity to connect with that customer and to bring value, right? I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. All businesses, we have to solve a problem and create some value. So that problem may be different, of course, depending on the company and the customer, but there's always an opportunity. You just have to be sensitive to what's happening in the world. And so you can't be tone deaf, right? You've got to really understand and listen, but you have to continue engaging and connecting. It just might look differently now. There's also just a lot of opportunities because, I'm not a digital marketing person, but there's opportunities because costs per acquisition have decreased. There's opportunities through blogging and content creation. A lot of good brands are creating content right now because they want to continue the conversation. They want to connect and talk to their customers. And they may not have a lot of different discretionary funds given what's happening with their business, but you've just got to figure out a way and a strategy to pivot and really continue embracing the customers.
Yeah, and I think in a prior conversation that we had, you mentioned how some of the, maybe a pivot, or a more amplification of something that companies were doing, or just making customers and clients more aware, the public more aware of, social good and social causes that their companies may have already been involved in, but are helpful to, promote now or even do more now during this time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a lot of clients who have really put their philanthropic foot forward. They've always had philanthropy as one of their core pillars, but it's such a genuine pillar. Now in the time of need, they're coming forward even more. And that makes for a really great story. They're not doing it for the story, but it is making a great story because it just shows your customers and potential customers and just the industry, why are you in the business in the first place? What do you have to offer? And what really is important to you? So, we have clients that are supporting the hospitality industry by raising social awareness about the impact that's happening on that, on that industry. We've got other clients that are out there volunteering or delivering free food to healthcare workers. There's just a lot of good that's taking place. And that is such a great way to not just utilize your time if you are a little bit slower, but also to give back in the community where you live, work, and where your employees live and work.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think so much of that, as you said, it's already embedded in who they are, and they're just leaning into that even further during times like this. And It's so cool to see. And it's great to, see that and, perhaps for you be a part of it and to share that. And so that's fantastic. And so I guess another question, that I have regards your own business. Like, you've grown very fast. You've built a great, strong business with a very tight-knit team, and you have a great company culture as I know it. You've got your headquarters, which you call the Crow's Nest. Now everyone's working remotely. Anything internally that you are doing to help maintain that vibrant culture that you've created?
Well, thank you for the kind words. Yeah, it's definitely a process. Every week's a little bit different, and we're learning new things. And there's a lot of emotion out there in the world, in the corporate environment, with our clients, et cetera. So we've really tried to listen and create a safe space for our team, but also find ways to motivate one another, find ways to encourage one another, take a lot of the things that we do in the office at the Nest virtually, right? So obviously Zoom, I don't know who's not on Zoom. Everyone's on Zoom, fine. But are there different ways to meet, different times of day, different one-on-ones? Absolutely. So we've tactically implemented more rhythm to our touch bases, right? We have a standing happy hour every Friday. And we've also taken our leadership training series into the virtual space. So this is a big, point of differentiation, I suppose, but also just a big passion of mine to develop extraordinary leaders and to make sure we're offering tools for our team. We're not a Fortune 500 multi-global sort of firm. We're a smaller firm, but I want our team to have access to some of the best tools and to develop, because growth is something that we're all passionate about, and it's one of our core values. And so we now have these bi-weekly Grow with Crowe series where we have our consultant come in and talk about productivity, talk about emotional intelligence, talk about resiliency, all the topics that are important always, but even more so important today. And have a space where we can have genuine, transparent conversations, but also have the right tools and mechanisms to move forward and be there for each other, and more importantly, also for our clients. You know, our clients depend on us more than ever right now. We're here to help them. A lot of marketing departments have been slashed, sadly. So, you know, we're here to say, okay, we'll do other stuff for whatever you need us to do. We're your partner and we want to help you. So maybe internal communications is not something we normally deal with, but guess what? We're going to help with that, and we're going to work on that. So we've got to show up for our clients. We've got to be in the right frame of mind and to do so, and have the right sort of atmosphere around one another and support one another for that reason, and just for, you know, just for getting through this whole thing together.
Yeah, wow. No, that's awesome. And so I think you guys are increasing your rhythm and your communication style so you can be more productive. You're also having different conversations with your, you know, existing clients. Are you changing the pace at which you're connecting with clients during this and staying in, you know, communication with them as well?
Yeah, so some of our clients, we have weekly touch bases. Some are monthly, some are bi-weekly. Really just depends on the team and the industry and what's going on. We are scheduling a lot more Zooms now with clients, whereas in the past, we'd have quarterly in-person meetings or sometimes bi-monthly in-person meetings, depending again on the client and the proximity. We definitely want to make sure we're seeing our clients too, because we realize a lot of them are at home as well. And so it's a really different connection when you are face-to-face, obviously very different than in person as well. So we're changing that up a little bit. We've also just taken a more human approach, I think, at this time. I don't know what we did before GIFs or GIFs or whatever you want to call them, but those are definitely permeating through our culture. I was joking that I may need to have a GIF intervention because I don't think I can send with that one moving forward. We just switched to Microsoft Teams from Skype, and I just learned this morning that you can do GIFs on there. It's a game changer.
There we go.
So there's different ways to put humanity and fun into everything, and right now is just such a great way to connect with people, because people, I don't want to say people have more time because people are working, but the same sense, it has slowed down for a lot of people on some level, right? Maybe the work is intense and it's busy, but they're finding more time because they're not commuting, or they're finding their time because, you know, their kids are at home and they've got to be more present. So there's definitely a shift. And I think with that comes the need and the want for human connection and interaction. So the more we can do, the more it seals the relationship, I think, and makes for strong, genuine, connection.
Absolutely. And so, you know, another thing that I was thinking about is, you know, with people scaling, you know, perhaps back their spend or their marketing spend or their PR spend, are there, you know, in times like this, it seems like the news is all about the same thing over and over and over again, about the virus. Is there any, I would say, high impact PR strategies for, you know, call it the professional services firms, the attorneys, the accounting firms that you work with, that they should be considering now during times like this?
Yes, you know, right now, people are listening, people are reading the news online, people are in social media. So the space is there, right? It's just figuring out what can we say that's going to be valuable to our customers and other people. So with the content creation I mentioned, it's just a great opportunity to talk about the things that truly matter. And a lot of our reporters that we work with, they're not focused so much on COVID now as they were 3 weeks ago or weeks ago.
Right.
See, there are the breaking news reporters that's their whole beat and that's what they're working on. But there are reporters that really want to talk about aspirational things. They want to get past this. And so there's definitely a room and opportunity for it. I mean, some of our clients have seen a lot of success in the last 4 weeks with getting their voice out, and they're getting their brand out. So there's a lot of opportunity. And I would say you just have to look at your marketing budget, or what's left of it if it did get impacted, and figure out the right way to just to spend it. And I think right now it's all about genuine connections, and PR plays a really strong part in that. And social media, making sure you're being sensitive, but you're also communicating, because social is just like your dynamic website. You can connect, you can engage, you can talk to people and provide information. And then you can utilize, the relationships you've got with media to get your message out to even a broader audience through credible sources.
Yeah. And so I think that's one of the things I find interesting now is, finding the reporters, finding the journalists that, want interesting stories, or you have a different angle or a point of view that, can see through some of the other traditional language or the old ways of thinking. And so,
Exactly.
yeah, there's always a market or a place to find us with somebody like you. So on their team. And so you wrote a book. You published your first book. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is about?
Sure. The book is called Get Real, The Power of Genuine. No, I'm always forgetting the subtitle to my book. But it's around authenticity. So it's about creating authentic connections. It's about finding what's right for you, whether professionally, personally. And then a lot of it is about building a transparent culture and authentic brands. So the whole topic is around these authentic connections that we make as humans and as leaders and as organizations and brands, and the reason why they're important and how to cultivate those genuine habits to maximize not just your livelihood, but success and be happiest, honestly.
Does every employee that shows up at your team have to read the book before as they start?
It's not a prerequisite, but there is a multiple choice on their second day, so it's really just up to them.
Yeah, understood. So last question, if I were to have told you last year that what the world would be going through now, would there be anything that you have done in your business finances or personal finances to help manage through this, and also in the way that you want to just be going forward?
Yeah, I think if I learned one thing from this crisis or pandemic or whatever you want to call it is diversification. My business was fortunately diversified enough where some industries got hit harder and we've had to scale back on some efforts, and other industries saw a huge opportunity and we've scaled up efforts. So it's been really helpful, obviously. And same thing is with diversification of services. I think if we were just focused on one, we'd have a challenge, but we've got expertise in various things, blogging and social media and influencer marketing and then public relations, newsletters. There's things that we can do to help clients at this time. So it was great that we had that knowledge and expertise already, because we've had to shift some campaigns and then we've been able to do that successfully and quickly and pivot quickly. And I think that goes back to the personal life as well, and personal financial life. It's just, making sure, number one, cash is king. They say that true. That is true for both business and personal. You gotta have cash to get you through these times. And secondly, also diversifying. So making sure you've got finances in different pockets, making sure that you are monitoring them. If we had this conversation, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I'd be in a very different financial state because I wasn't really focused on diversification or where to put my money or what to do with it. And when you really focus and think about that, when you think about cash and ways, what to do with your cash, it's really powerful. So I think that's a great lesson learned and just something to be mindful of moving forward.
Yeah, and without those things, without that intentionality or planning to go into those different business lines, to have multiple streams of income, to have reserves, you wouldn't be in a position to help the clients that need you so badly now, to help maintain their businesses and maintain their reputations, and to help them grow through this and have that stability through this. So yeah, very good, very cool shares. I appreciate it. I appreciate having you. Where can those people listening find out more about you, about Crowe PR, and so they can be in touch?
Well, our website is just CrowePR.com, and that's CROWEPR.com. And then I always welcome LinkedIn connections, just Anna Crowe on LinkedIn, and all of our Instagram and Twitter and Facebook handles are just at CrowePR. So pretty easy, as long as you know to put the E in the.
Awesome. Well, for those of you listening, we appreciate it. Hope you took some nuggets from this that you can implement in your lives and your business, and get in touch with Anna. Her and her team are fantastic. So thanks for being here.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.